What's going on, man? It is 2:30, March 25th. Wanted to do a quick training on backswing, transition, impact, release. So I'm going to make this short so you guys can really understand this block practice. A lot of it will include things you've already done, like sweeping the dust, butting against the wall. But I just want to, look at, without a club in the hand, how to start the backswing, how to start the transition, and how to get an impact. And then release is just a chain reaction. And as we always talk about, block practice, block practice, block practice. So the first thing we're going to look at is face on and side view. I'm going to get into my posture. Who we got here? Anybody in? Let me see what we got here. It's okay. So I'm going to get into my posture, and I'm in my setup. I'm going to cross my arms, and I'm going to take my right shoulder, this is for right-handed golfers. I'm going to take my right shoulder, I'm going to pull it behind my head. Now, I did a training last week or 2 weeks ago about getting a full shoulder turn, and we talked about this L being here, it's like you're pulling back. But basically, just pulling the shoulder back. And while I'm doing that, I'm increasing the pressure on my right foot. I'm pushing my right foot into the ground forces, and I'm loading up. So, get in my posture, cross my arms, take my right shoulder and pull it behind my head. At the same time, I'm increasing the pressure. I'm pushing my right foot in the ground forces, and I'm increasing the pressure on the right foot. We've all done this 1,000 times already. So over the next couple days, next week, next 3 weeks, if you really want to master the full game, we're going to break it down step by step, just by using the body first, then I'll add in a club, and then we'll get to the finish. So the setup, the takeaway, is I am in my posture, my stance. I'm going to pull the right shoulder back and load up on this right leg by putting pressure and loading up on my glute. So that's the first move. Everybody can do this because we've all seen sweeping the dust. It's the same thing, sweeping the dust. So first step is the setup. Now that we're in I'm pulling, and we got to make sure that we don't get lazy because sometimes we don't turn far enough and we use all arms. So this whole foundational piece by piece is to just build a full swing that repeats. So pull my right shoulder behind my head, load up on my right leg. Everybody can do this. Now from here, we're going to get into the transition. Now, transition is I'm simply going to sit onto my left side. Squat to square. And what I mean by squat to square is I want to make sure that I get my hips back to square. So I'm in this position. My shoulders are not going to turn at all. They're going to stay back here, and I'm going to squat. Same drill we did before, butt against the wall drill. Squat, square. So I'm simply getting my weight on that side, the butt is staying against the wall. And I want to make sure that when I get here, I am shifting my weight to the left without my shoulders turning. Now, words have meaning. This is turning the shoulders, and when my shoulders are trailing behind, that's turned. My shoulders are being turned. They are turned, but they're not turning. They're being turned. So the transition, you can do this 3 minutes a day, just the setup and the backswing. You can do this for 3 minutes a day. This move here, 3 minutes today, just to feel that motion. There's no swaying going on. It's simply turning my shoulder behind my head and loading up my leg. This is a full backswing. Do this for 3 minutes today, 3 minutes tomorrow, until it becomes natural, because we're going to add pieces to it. So now, backswing, transition, squat to square, and then the third piece is impact. I'm going to straighten my left leg, push my hip open, and get 85% of the weight on my left leg without turning my shoulders. Squat to square, post up. So I'm posting up on this leg and opening the hips, keeping my shoulders back. Because then when we get to the release, then all we have to do is just release the club, just like that. So we want to get these key foundations down. Hey Ken, hello Stephen, good afternoon. So now, because when you get on the course and you hit a bad shot, you can simply say, all right, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And that's really all you have to do is get into here, squat to square, post up, straighten up the leg, get 85% of the weight on this front foot, and then turn the hips. There's nothing here, and we're posting up. We're posting up. So if I start from here, and I'm squatted here, boom. I'm squatted here, boom. I'm just posting up this leg, and I think last week I did a training where we're doing these arch and thrust. That's the movement that we're training for to get to this position here. We're thrusting. We're thrusting here, but it's a movement by squat, sit on my left side, squat to square, sit on my left side, and then I post up by straightening out my left leg and pushing the hip open. And then the arms and the club, they're just along for a fucking ride in the release, and we'll get to there in a second. Hey Daniel. So now, here I am, in my arms crossed. Now I'm going to straighten out my arm. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull my right shoulder behind my head and load up on my right side. My arm is straight here. Boom. Boom. Arm only. Arm only. Arm only. Doesn't matter what's at. Just get the general idea. All I'm doing is elevating my left arm across my chest. Elevating. How far is that? 2 feet? Elevating my arm 2 feet across the middle of my chest. 2 feet across the middle of my chest. 2 feet across the middle of my chest. Pull the shoulder back. There's the backswing. Okay? I got a club here. So now, I'm in my posture. Arms hanging here. I'm going to pull the shoulder back behind my head, and here's the arm. I'm going to put a club in my hand right there, and there it is. That's it. So I've done this move 3 minutes today, 3 minutes tomorrow, 3 minutes the next day. I've done it over and over. Now I got a club in my hand. Same move. Same move. And all I'm doing is I'm pulling my shoulder back, and I'm loading up on this here, and the arm's just holding on to the club, connected to my chest. Boom. Now it's going to feel pretty heavy here, so then you just bring your right arm up there and help support it. Squat the square. Straighten the left leg. Turn your hip open. And then all I do is release. Here, squat the square, post up. I'm in the slot. All I have to do is release. So here, squat the square, post up. That's the position right there. Squat the square, post up. I'm in position, coming in the impact zone, and all I have to do is release. Just release. Notice how I'm posting up, and the hips are opening up. I'm good stabilized here. Squat the square. My hips are not turning. They're being turned, but they're chain reaction. They're lagging behind. Here, squat the square, post up. I'm in a good hitting position, impact, and I just fire through. This position here, arm extended. This position here, put the club in my hand, right there. Squat the square, release, release, release. Slow motion training. Pull the shoulder back. Squat the square, post up, release. Here, bring your right arm up here just to help it, position it. Now look where my hands and arms are at. So my right arm is bent with a slight external rotation. So, right arm bent, 90 degrees, slight external rotation. Left arm elevation, 45 degrees across your chest. Match them together. Look at there. Here I am. So we'll break it down. 90 degrees, slight external rotation. If I just go 90 degrees, match with the right forearm, slight external rotation, and I pull this right shoulder back, look at there. Right where I need to be, based on my body. I'm not trying to put you guys in positions, but you're going to be in a position based on what your body's capable of doing. So, no club, left arm elevation, cross the arm, right arm bent 90 degrees, slight external rotation. Here, left arm connect with the thumb like I got a grip, and then now if I just pull my right shoulder behind my head. This is the arms crossed, right shoulder takeaway. This is me increasing the pressure on my right foot. I'm pushing my right foot in the ground. Now I'm fully loaded. This is the backswing. Transition, square, squat, squat, squat to square, sit on the left side, weight shifts, boom. That's a transition. And then impact as I straighten the right leg. 85% of my weight gets on my left leg. And I push the hip open. here, here. What does the left arm do? Left arm elevates and is across my chest. So there's a spot in my chest where there feels like there's a big gap, and I just put that arm right there. So that's where that's going to be. And my right arm can bend, and it can externally rotate just a little bit, and then there I am. I get in my golf posture. I pull my right shoulder back behind my head. That's the backswing. How many times out of 1,000 times can you just do this? Block practice, 3 minutes a day. Boom. I can train that move. I can train what it feels like here. Take the right shoulder and pull behind my head. Left arm is coming up in that slop. I'll put the club right there. And I'll use this arm to balance it. There I am. I put my grip on there. Here I am. So my right arm is still connected. It's bent and it slightly externally rotates. And since I'm turning, it's going to want to have some width and come off there a little bit. Perfectly natural. You know, some people trying to get this stuck inside there. There's no need to force it. Well, it's going to come out a little bit. There, that's perfect. So I can look in a mirror, face on, down the line, and I can do this step by step, feel by feel, until number one, I pull my right shoulder back behind my head, and I load up pressure on my right foot, and push my right foot in the ground, and now I'm fully loaded. Now to start the transition, I squat, just squat. This is the butt against the wall drill. I'm fully loaded up here, and I'm just squatting. This is my rear, so my left cheek, you'll see, it's not coming this way. I'm simply getting from here, and I'm going to squat. Here, squat, that's a transition. And then impact, it's continuation. You simply extend, straighten out your right leg, put 85% of the weight on the right leg, and then open your hips. And then look, I'm in perfect leg hitting position. The club's right here. All I have to do from here is just release. Pull the right shoulder back, load up on the right leg, squat the square, straighten the right leg, open the hips. Here, club is right on plane, and I simply just have to release. Hey Stephen, hey Michael, how y'all doing? So you guys can watch this from the beginning. Are there any questions for anybody that's been on here? If you have questions, you can post a comment, send me a message. But I wanted to break down how to, without a club, train the brain and the body to do certain movements and what it feels like. So, to recap, we're gonna spend some more time on what the left and right arm does. But I want to recap. First off, I'm just crossing my arms. I'm getting my golf posture, and I'm going to take my trail shoulder and turn it behind my head. While I'm doing that, at the same time, I'm loading up on my right side, and I'm putting pressure on the inside. I'm putting pressure on the inside. So I want to talk about pressure in feet. So if I take my foot and I cut it in half, I never want weight during my backswing or downswing to go outside this foot or outside this foot. So on the backswing, I'm going to force this pressure on the inside of this foot here. Never get this way. Never go out this way. Always roll weight here. So now, as I turn my right shoulder back, I load up all my weight on the inside of these here, muscles in here, and I'm fully loaded up in my glute. And now I've got this ground force to where it's stable, really stable, like you're playing linebacker. That's the backswing. Now the transition, it's real simple. We want to make sure that we get our weight shifted, but we don't want our shoulders to turn. We're not turning our shoulders. Now they will be turned. So there's words that mean turning versus turn. I'm not turning. That's where we all make mistakes. We're turning our shoulders versus having them being turned by the movement of the hip, and the shoulders are trailing that kinematic sequence in the full swing. Backswing, you can do this 1,000 times. Well, how many times can you do it in a minute? 20 times a minute, so 60 times a day. 60 times a day times 21 days. It's quite a few times, right? 1,800 times. Now when you combine that with this, there's the full turn. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to just squat. That's the transition, that's it. This is all you need to do is just squat without turning your shoulders. Just need to squat without turning your shoulders. Just need to squat. Then from there, you post up, straighten this leg, 85% of the weight, boom. And you just turn this open. That's why when you see those guys on tour, you see them firing their hips. Well, let's train it. You guys can simply train your hips. It's real easy. Squat, boom. That's it. That's the golf swing right there. Takeaway, transition, impact. Because the club's already gone. Because it's released. Backswing, transition, post up, impact. Post up, 85% of the weight is on my left leg. Hips are being opened, and then I'm finally releasing. Now, you can train with a club, and bring the club into play by simply getting to here, putting the club right there, and you'll feel what that looks like. Here. So that's where that's at. Then you just get it up to there, squat to square, post up, release. So you've got to break this down into pieces. Setup, and the takeaway, transition, butt against the wall drill, butt against the wall drill. These are just little movements of the hips. Remember, if the hips are turned back 45 degrees, then the transition is just 45 degrees. So if I take my backswing, sweeping the dust, and I retard my hips, now they're at 45 degrees, squat, now they're square, so they're opening 45 degrees, squatting, closing 45 degrees, and a downswing, the transition, squat to square, and then I simply just push my hip open and post up. Post up. So you can start here and just post up. Start here and just post up. This is why we do the Excalibur drill. You start impact fixed and just post up. So you start impact fixed. Impact fixed is the post up. It's the third part of impact. That's why we call it impact fixed. So when you guys continue to stay around here for some of you in here a week or 2 weeks or 2 months or 20 weeks, the more and more you see the way I break this down by having these drills, it's all just making sure that you fundamentally reprogram a new motor control pattern with the right kinematic sequence. This is adjusted address. This is impact fix. This is where I'm going to get impact. Right there. Well, here, there. That's That's the third thing we're training on right here, impact fix. So it's really just 85% of the weight is on the left leg. I'm posting up, straightening out my left leg, and I'm pushing my hip open. That's the same thing as impact fix. And then you can bring in the club and do it in slow motion. Pull the right shoulder back, elevate the left arm, squat to square, post up, release, release. Release is the same thing, or a beginning portion of the impact fix with the Excalibur drill. You guys want a good workout? Do the Excalibur drill for 8 minutes. Steven Adams, you need to practice the entire sequence. Not just the squat move, the entire sequence. And you do it all without a club. All without a club. Backswing. Transition. Impact. Backswing. Transition. Impact. Impact. Backswing. Transition. Now you want to make sure you keep your shoulders returning. Transition. Impact. See my butt against the wall still? Get in the library and search in the group or in the members area, butt against the wall drill. It all coincides with this posting up. Squat to square, post up. So anytime you hit a bad shot, like, man, what did you do wrong? You can simply just go, remember we have a process. Pre-shot routine, hit the shot, post-shot routine. Fix it if it was bad, relive it if it was good. Oh man, I hit a bad shot. Okay, well, I can do this, I can squat to square, I can post up. Then I can take my practice to the next shot. Right shoulder back, squat to square, post up. Notice the release. The body's not moving. It's just the release. Squat to square, post up, release. Remember, in the kinematic sequence, the hips eventually slow down, and then they speed back up after release. So what does the right arm do? It bends 90 degrees and slightly externally rotates. Bend, externally rotate. There's the backswing with the right arm doing, right there. Right there, we talk about this. Pressure point number 3, all day long. Pressure point number 3, I can sense it right there. What's it do? Elevate 2 feet maybe? Elevates 2 feet. 45 degrees across my chest. So, there's the backswing. Right arm's right there. So if you first of all work the body, and then bring in the club, and then train the entire sequence together, slow motion, 3 minutes a day. Take my right shoulder and pull it behind my head. Right shoulder behind the head. I can elevate my left arm across this little gap in my chest. Full backswing. Fully loaded on my right side. Squat to square. Post up. Release. I would practice that over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then slow motion, put it into play. Squat square, post up, release. Squat square, post up, release. You guys are all players. You all have the talent, you have the desire, you have the commitment, you have the resources. Everything you need is inside here. Hey, Mr. Anderson. So I encourage you all to do these movements one body part at a time to where you can feel, and I'm going to recap it one more time. This is all you need to do to become a really good ball striker. Here, here, here. But you got to train it. Here, here, here. Because the rest is just release and follow through. So for those of you that have not been on my calendar, or those of you that are stuck, have questions, want me to take a look at something, Zoom with Dean link is available all over the internet, in our group, in the members area, in your email. Any other questions? What's today, Wednesday? So it looks like I'll see you guys Thursday for some fitness stuff. Talk to you soon.